Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, please introduce me. My name is Ishmatun Naila. I'm from University of Muhammadiyah Surabaya. Today in this chance, I would like to present my research about ethnoscience and web-based learning media to maintain cultural awareness in science classroom, an exploratory sequential study. So I would like to read the abstract first from my study so you can briefly understand the content of my research. This research aimed to measure prospective teachers' cultural awareness in learning using web and ethnoscience-based media. Then, to confirm the media feasibility, we conduct teaching material verification tests and media verification tests utilizing work and goal theory. A mixed method study was used in data collection technique including observation, documentation, and interviews. Following the quantitative verification test was conducted by two verifiers, with the first verifier, media professional, rate highly effective with an average of 96.6%. In contrast, the average percentage of material expert verifier was 90, 98% rated highly effective. The results show that the student cultural knowledge increased statistically significant with 5% alpha after learning science using the media. The average and gain for the three grades were high, with no difference among three grades, and over 93% of students responded positively to the media. This ethnoscience and web-based learning media meet the media eligibility criteria, which is valid, practical, and effective to improve student cultural awareness in science classroom. So that's the abstract from my study. Next, here's the introduction. I would like to explain what is the background of my study. So, as we know, in the current era of globalization, students are more familiar with foreign culture and less understand the country's culture and local wisdom. So, students' sense of nationalism are a good. For culture and local wisdom to remain strong, students, as the nation's next generation, must instill a sense of love for culture and local wisdom by integrating cultural knowledge into the learning process. Because regional culture, local wisdom, and the surrounding environment can make a particular contribution to the learning experience of student in the form of mindset or cognitive, attitude patterns or affective, and behavior patterns or psychomotor. Therefore, an educational breakthrough is needed that combine culture with science, or commonly called ethnoscience. Despite the cultural awareness issue, based on the observation, there are problems faced by students when learning science, particularly first, the lecturer reprimands students who are less successful students, sorry. The use of media is not appropriate. The learning material provided by the lecturer is usually packed with a tiresome PowerPoint presentation. We then explore the preliminary study using qualitative analysis to get a more profound description of this situation. So, in this method, we use qualitative, then followed by quantitative study. Next, the aims of my research is to investigate the students' cultural awareness before and after using ethnoscience and web-based learning media in science classroom. The moderating effects, such as the university location, was also examined. Material and method. Mm, This is the material and the method used in my study. This research is a mix exploratory sequential study that begins with the collection of qualitative data, then progress to the collection of quantitative data. Qualitative data in this study is used in a preliminary study to measure the cultural awareness in learning activities of university students in an elementary teacher education program consisting of 120 students in a science classroom. Then explain and describe the result obtained. Here are the resume of material, or sorry, the method, which is we first examine the qualitative study. We use observation, we use interview and documentation, and 120 university students in Surabaya, which is in big city. Then after that, we develop the learning media that is used in this research, which is ethnoscience and web-based learning. And then we examine the media using quantitative study to see the feasibility of the media, uh, which is conducted by validation, practicality or questionnaire, and effectiveness of the media. The result and discussions. In the initial stage of this research, the analysis phase includes qualitative data collection from an observation of learning activities and interview the keynote source person. Obser- the result from observation indicate that cultural awareness of students still needs to be improved. This is shown by several interview questions asked to informants, which lead to indicators of cultural awareness. Almost all questions were not answered perfectly. This observation result underlies us to implement a web-based ethnoscience media for students in science class. Several causes also allow us to explore, including the university location in a big city. Big cities tend to be advanced and have a very diaspora population, so there is less cultural consistency in everyday life. After that, material analysis and learning media creation were carried out using web-based, si- web-based sites in the form of products of the Google Site application. The development of this product is an innovation in the use of learning media, which can be seen at the link provided in my paper. Sorry. We compile material and media that will become learning media based on Google Site Web. And at this stage, it begins with designing and determining the concept for the background and storyboards to facilitate the creation of concept on media, layout concept, material content, and additional supporting image. This stage of the development program that has been designed and then processed into the Google Sites media. So here are the results, which you can see in my PowerPoint. It is the display of learning objective page and material page. This one is the view of the main page, menus, and displays of the profile page. Based on the result at the elementary school and in line with the research by Pertiwi and Purnawarman to 2023, Google Sites Media is the right choice for the learning activities because this media is fun for students and easy for lecturers to use. Expert validity tests have carried out the implementation of this research validity test, and the validity level must be determined through the implementation of this research. Through the validation of media expert, material expert, and student and lecturer questionnaire to test web-based teaching material products. Experts generally consider that product validation survey tools reflect all the topic discussed in this study and has measurable content, language component, display, and graphic component so that media created is visible. The validity product is determined by analyzing data from expert validation tests, which can be seen here. We are get into the result of quantitative study. The validity product uh, achieve 69 sorry 98%. So web-based teaching learning material products meet the categories very valid. Based on the aspect presented, the elaboration of teaching material include mind mapping, material for change in energy form and assessment sheets, indicators, and learning objective according to basic skills. The result of the validation test by media experts show percentage of 96.6%, which means that the web-based learning aid product meet the very feasible category. I think enough for the validity. And the practicality, it is also can be said as very practice. It can be used in a student in another city or another university. And then for the effectiveness, we got the end gain result is medium, which is in the average of 0.53%. And then we test with ANOVA to see the homogeneity, and the result is homogeneous. Okay, we come to the very end slide, the conclusion. So the conclusion of my research is it can be concluded that first, the result of material validation obtained from material experts are 98% and can be categorized as very feasible. The media validation result from media expert was 96.6%, which can be categorized the very feasible. The very feasible criteria means that the ethnoscience and web-based media is very valid and feasible to use. Two, the second is the practical result based on the assessment of 120 students in is 93% with the excellent criteria, while the result of practitioner based on the lecturer assessment were 94% with the outstanding criteria. The excellent criteria means that the media is efficient in learning. And the last, the results show that the student cultural knowledge increased statistically significant with 5% alpha after learning science using the media. The average and gain for the three grades were high with no differences among the three grades, and over 93% of students responded positively to the media. Innocent and web-based learning media meets the media eligibility criteria, which is valid, practical, and effective to improve student cultural awareness in science classroom. Okay, thank you so much. I think this is the end of my presentation. Thank you for audience for listening to my presentation. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.